Verasity. All right, so new patent in South Korea, all that stuff. All right, the last time I covered Verasity, I was a little harsh on it. I kept saying, and I haven't looked at the chart since. So I said, Verasity, it's before it goes way up, it's got to hit this next origin line down, right? I honestly don't know if that's true, so I might eat my words going over here as I record this. But I did the same type of analysis on Atom, and it did happen. So let's see if that origin line was hit. And I truly don't know, because this is, so for people watching the recording of this Verasity, I'm on a live show, so recording this segment. Let's see. Let's see if I was right. I'm kind of interested. It hasn't hit it yet. It's close. Oh no, it went through it. Never mind. It did. Yeah, it did hit it. So I record. That's why this was here. So it went below it. Oh no. No, maybe I was talking about this. I don't know which one I was talking about at this point. No, it must have been this one, because I had the box and stuff here. So it must have been mid-September I was talking about this. So it did hit it. And it went way below it. It's not looking good, man. I don't think this new patent's doing anything. It's not creating buy pressure. So no, that new patent is not getting people to be bullish on this. So this line is going to be hit with an extremely high likelihood. Now, what could happen before that is, honestly, it could get rejected. So see how this weekly 10, so this is the weekly 10 EMA. See how it's crossing? So my, remember this for new people, when two important lines cross, it often turns into a vacuum. Doesn't matter if price is currently above where they're crossing or below, it just turns into a black hole and it sucks in from all directions, and price often likes to get sucked into it. Regardless of if that makes price go down or up, it just gets sucked into it. It turns into a vacuum. I don't know why that happens. On bigger alts, it's because it's a setup for of sophisticated bots to trick less sophisticated bots to make them think, hey, it's bullish now. But on this, I don't know why that would happen. But it does happen. That's all that matters, is it does. So I could see Verasity come back up to 0045. But even with that, I still think this would still be probable. So when it becomes improbable that this is hit, this origin line in general, so it could hit it sooner, could hit it down here at 0.00311, could hit it later at 0.0033, right? But just this origin line in general, somewhere around 0.0033. The exact moment it becomes improbable that this will be hit is when price gets above and uses this as support, which it would do the weekly 10 and this at the same time. And then if it can bounce on it, this becomes improbable. Not hugely improbable, because it could break down and hit it, but it does become more probable that it's going to recover. Make sense? But even so, the reason why this is valuable is even during a pump off this patent news, if it hits 00485, this is still probable thereafter. Even as it pumps up, what, 25, 30%? 23%. Even with a 23% pump, that down there, 0033 is still probable. I can't stress that enough. And it only becomes not probable that this is hit when this is used specifically as support. On at least something like a 15-minute, a couple bounces on it. You know, you don't just want like one candle to go above and one 15-minute to wick down, and, you know, that doesn't quite count. You want some candles, you know, multiple candles, a couple bounces on the 5-minute time frame, or 15-minute, or even 1 hour. But I would say 5 to 15 minutes. If you can get 2 to 3 bounces on the 5 and 15-minute candle time frames, then this becomes improbable. But not until then. All right. So watch, but it could rally up to there because the weekly 10 is going to cross there. So I would not be surprised if, based off that South Korea patent news, plus this cross, that would be a target. But right now, it's got to get above the daily 10 EMA first, which is this orange line, or the 1 hour 200. And really, if you're a Verasity person, you need, like, if you're a Verasity person and you click around with your money with it, I'm about to tell you something extremely easy and extremely valuable, like potentially profitable. Permanently have your chart with the 1 hour 200 EMA on it, on Verasity. it's like the perfect line for it. And honestly, it's the most magical line in all of crypto. It works for Bitcoin. It works for just like almost everything besides XRP. And in a bull market, a lot of coins are too hot and they actually use the 30, like VeChain, it continuously used the 30-minute 200 EMA, but it was an oddball because it was a slow, steady, but aggressive slow. If that's oxymoronic, but most coins use this because it's the daily 10 and it just bounces so much. So, but I don't think this becomes likely until the daily 10 gets a positive slope, which means it's bounced on it. That's what it means. So this doesn't become probable until this gets a positive slope and prices on top of it. And if those two things can happen, that means it did bounce, right? So if it gets above this daily 10 EMA, like right here, if you zoom in, did the daily 10 have a positive slope at any? It actually did. Look at that. Here, let me take off price. It did for a hot minute, right? For like 3 hours. But it needs a positive slope and bounce on it. So I guess technically you could get a positive slope with that and it crashes back down. But if we circle this and go to the 5-minute chart, see how price interacted with it. Wow, this is volatile. It used it as support here, but made, all right, so it used it as, so this is the daily 10. It did get a positive slope in this area. It used it as support, but it made a lower high and then did it again, which means your chances of continuing to bounce are kind of a little lower here. Went below another lower high, lower than this one, and that means the next time it touches it, it's probably going to break down. If you just keep getting lower highs and you overshot it. So when you overshoot it and make a lower high, lower than the original local high it made when it got over the resistance, if you overshoot it, you're very likely going to make a lower high, which means this is a good short signal once you hit this again. And here, it didn't use it as support at all. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, you need to use this guy as support. And make a one more local high above the first high it makes. So so something like that is what you need to see on. My EMA just freaking disappeared. Interesting. I don't know why it disappeared, but it did. But that is Verasity. So that levels that I talked about, you could have a 23% pump, and that lower target is still more probable. That is Verasity